Alright, back again. So today I'm just talking about progress, I guess, just what I've been working on. Progress has been kind of slow lately, more than usual, but there's a couple of things that I got done. A couple of things that I'm working on as well. Things like new patches for my guitar pedal. I wasn't really happy with a lot of the tones that I had. So I've got some new heavy tones, some new clean tones. Not that I really had a problem with my clean tones, it's just I had a very specific use case that I needed something for. So I did it. Also just a couple of beats that I've been working on, whether for the podcast or just little things that I've been working on for myself for no particular reason. There's been a couple of those. Also a little bit of scratching, not particularly good. Not really happy with the results, but I'll probably play a little bit of that so you can hear what that sounds like. And other than the things that I'll be showing tonight, I also worked on a little bit of the artwork for the next Elephant Apostle and MC Sneaker track that'll be coming out soon. I think this will be the last one that I do where it's just kind of I put a prompt into AI and get an album cover. I think I'm gonna move more towards using it as a way of generating elements for collage kind of projects. I think that's my new approach to making album covers as the new default when I can't think of more interesting approaches to use. And it took forever to get it to like stop fucking up like the anatomy and things like that, but it's not bad now. I think it looks all right. But yeah, I'm I'm keen to be moving away from that method of making these covers. It's not really that like fulfilling artistically. And the other cover that I made recently for another track that's just a regular Elephant Apostle track, I took the more sort of like collage kind of approach where I generated certain elements and then cut them out and put them together, composed the scene in a certain way. I feel like that's got a little bit more merit. It feels more fulfilling. I've also got more control over what the composition of the scene looks like, which is nice. But yeah, I guess let's move on to the showing section of this show and tell. Let's start with the guitar tones. Okay, so the first tone that I have here is my BB King kind of tone. So this one is for rhythm sections. It's the more mellow of the two BB King tones that I put together for actually used it in the last video where I did the BB King reaction to the Sing Sing prison performance. Right, so that's like the main use of this tone, right? That's the BB King rhythm sound that I kind of went for. Um, doesn't have enough power for lead. Not quite. So I did put together a lead guitar sound for when I'm playing some BB King, and that's what this sounds like. So that's my BB King lead sound. A little bit more bite to it, a little bit more punch. Uh, but for when it's really time to get heavy, this is what I've got. So this is my essentially my Wayne Static ripoff. Let's see. Okay, I kind of remember it sounding heavier than that, but I guess that's what I've got. I think I'll have to go back and look at that one again. But then I've also got my Static X lead tone. I guess that's closer to what I'm really going for. But once again, I'm just not happy with the tones that I'm getting, especially the heavier ones. something's just off. I'll have to figure out what that is, because I have no idea. But yeah, so I guess 2 to maybe 3 out of 4 of those tones I'm pretty satisfied with. But it's back to the drawing board on at least one, at least the Static X rhythm section. I just feel like it's not quite there. Yeah. But anyway, that's those guitar tones. That's what I've got. But yeah, so that's that for the guitar tones that I've been working on. I was also going to show some of the beats that I've been working on, but you know, going through those patches and really being disappointed at listening back to the Wayne Static rhythm imitation that I put together. It just doesn't sound the way I remember. I don't know what I've done wrong. I'll have to go look at that, but that's really just put me off. So I think that's enough. That's enough for this video in terms of me yammering. I'll save those beats for the next video, I guess. But what I will leave you with, something a little better sounding, which is that I learned how to play Me and the Devil by Robert Johnson, having talked about it in the previous video and given my opinion on the cover by Soap and Skin that I talked about. Figured I should probably learn how to play it, right? So this will, what will follow after this will be me playing it at a music store pretty much the day of or the day after learning it. I don't think I did any vocals that day, so it might just be an instrumental for now. But if that is the case, I'll be following it up with a vocal performance as well soon. So yeah, that's that. See you in the next one. Peace.
Early this morning, when you knocked upon my door, early this morning, when you knocked upon my door, and I said, hello Satan, I believe it's time to go. Me and the devil was walking side by side. Me and the devil was walking side by side. And I'm going to beat my woman see why I always dog around. Babe, you know you ain't doing me right. She said she don't see why I always dog around. It must have been that old evil spirit so deep down in the ground. You may bury my body down by the highway side. Maybe I don't care where you bury my body when I'm dead and gone. You may bury my body down by the highway side, so that my old evil spirit can catch a greyhound